What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Sundays I normally take off, but I know most of my peers take off, and there's just some big news today. So I'm going to have a video on this channel, and then I'm also going to have a video on my Jeremy Hambly channel, which will be linked in the description down below. It's like my little secret channel, and I hope that you'll go subscribe to it. Last night, 4 o'clock-ish, I was driving to a play with my wife, and she was telling me about what was going on in the news. I try not to text and drive or read the news and drive, and I felt like maybe we should switch. So, maybe you should drive so I can figure out what's going on here. Somebody walked into Brown University yesterday and took out, hit 11 people, and also 2 of them so far have not survived. Of course, a university president who makes $3 million a year had no answers 6 hours later. The next day, we still have no answers. Up until about 5 a.m. Central Standard Time this morning, the person was able to walk in, do what they did, and walk right out. Now we have a person of interest in custody, but there's been all sorts of obfuscation from the media. Many people on site talked about, they yelled something out loud, but they didn't know what they said. Woke professors said that. We all know what he said. He screamed the snack bar phrase. And there's been quite a bit of an update. There's been, politicians doing what politicians do, blaming it on Trump. And then I'm covering what happened in Australia on my Jeremy Hambly channel. So let's get into everything. 10 seconds for only 2 days left to get your 12 days of Christmas or holiday gift box or Kona gift box. 15% off with promo code HOLIDAY15. So if you have anybody who needs a last minute gift, order it today. Coffeebrandcoffee.com. Just go up to Christmas gifts on top. And it supports the channel, and it's an incredible product. Let's start with moments after the incident. Senator Chris Murphy went on the news, of course, CNN, to blame Donald Trump for it.
We haven't had the wherewithal to do anything in Washington we did a little bit a few years ago, but of means for years and years and years. But having said that, Rhode Island...
Why are these women all skeletal, man? Have a cheeseburger, lady. ...has
some pretty strict gun laws. They have universal background checks, red flag laws, waiting periods to purchase a gun.
They have the strictest laws anywhere, basically. Maybe downtown Chicago's a little stricter.
This is about, and we've talked about this, much more than gun violence.
Yeah, it's about Islam.
It is gun violence, but the laws could be stronger, but they're stronger than other places in Rhode Island.
Well, but the laws do make a difference. I mean, if you look at states like Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, California that have stronger laws, we have gun violence rates, murder rates, mass shooting rates that are 2 to 3 to 4 times lower.
That's untrue. Chicago has some of the strictest laws ever, and I believe it's the #1 or #2 most dangerous city. There are dozens of people who receive unwanted lead injections there every single weekend. This is just a lie.
Than states that have loose gun laws. And
yeah, how many of these incidents have in Montana or Wyoming? Just curious.
Many of the weapons that are used in our states for gun crimes come to our states from those states that have
it's other states,
an ability for criminals and people with serious mental illness to buy weapons. So what we know is that,
again, that's just made up.
Stronger laws do work. And since we passed that bill in 2022, the first bill in 30 years that strengthens the nation's gun laws, gun violence rates and mass shooting rates have come down in this country.
No, they haven't.
But this is not shocking because over the last year, President Trump has been engaged in a dizzying campaign.
Here we go. Donald Trump, right? It's Donald Trump. Now, we have the university president getting by the way, they have they have a camera in that building for every 8 to 9 students, something like 800 or 900 cameras. Still, as of this morning, we have a blurry picture of somebody's back. By the time I had woken up this morning, not only did I have hundreds of videos from what happened in Australia, but we had suspect names, videos, everything. And here we have a professor that probably knows it was a radical that did it, but doesn't want to say anything.
Somebody had said, and I want to make sure we're correct in reporting this, that he may have walked out of a building, and I'm wondering, how did he get access to the building, and is there
Oh, he just walked right in. The doors weren't even locked. That's how it happened.
video from inside the building?
That I don't have. I don't have the answer if there's video inside that building that depicts him. There is video inside that building.
There's 800 cameras.
However, I haven't seen him on video inside that building, and he did walk out of the building.
So can
walked
you
away.
explain that to me, in all of us? So he was in the building, but we don't have video of him in the building.
We haven't recognized him in the video yet. We do see some video from inside the building of a commotion. Clearly, students are running. However, we don't have the from the.
This was many hours, by the way, after the incident. Obviously, this person did, they used a personal weapon, a sidearm, and not what the media loves to talk about. But I also want to show this professor get absolutely shredded. There's the university professor who was like, yeah, we don't know anything. We don't know anything. No updates. Mayor came on, no updates, but they brought a sign language interpreter. This is the only video they gave us. Some grainy a cop who filmed the video on their cell phone. Completely useless. Here's the university president 6 hours after the fact getting absolutely crushed.
I'm catching up right now.
President, with all due respect, 6 hours after this shooting, and you said you don't know what was going on in that classroom? How does that happen? Were they taking an exam? Were they meeting for a club?
I don't know.
How do you not know that?
6 hours later, and you're the president, and you don't know.
I do not know.
Well, that's kind of concerning.
Yeah, that is concerning. What's more concerning is she does know. Right? She does know. Now, there is a person of interest that was arrested. Apparently, they've confirmed an unidentified male in his 30s was taken into custody at the Hampton Inn, a hotel in Coventry early this morning. Providence Police Chief Oscar Perez did not specify if the man was connected to the Ivy League incident. Of course he didn't. Now, he fired more than 40 times on a room full of students. They have not recovered the weapon. This guy was able to walk away clean from the scene. And this Rhode Island police are a joke. Then we have, he shouted something before opening fire. Something? Was it, let me sell raw milk? Was it free the Amish? We know what they yelled.
And called into police. I mean, the reality is that this is a 7-story physics and engineering building that was unlocked, but this individual went to a specific classroom that was essentially in a study session for an exam on economics and chose that classroom. And we know from a witness inside that this gunman yelled something. We don't know what this individual yelled and then began shooting. We also know that this person reportedly used a handgun.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions also.
We also know that people on the scene said that they were yelling stuff in Arabic. Right? Now, is it possible? Look, basically the dress in all black going into university or something like that, that's generally white people territory. But we have to also look at the start of Hanukkah and what happened, just hours later in Australia. I want to wrap up this video sharing just some realities here. We don't have to live like this. First and foremost, our government, these universities, our places of education, continue to leave our students at risk on purpose. They choose to have soft targets. There should be an armed guard in every one of these buildings at every single door all the time. These universities make billions of dollars and they don't even bother locking the door. Every kid could have a key fob or a fob on their phone to get in and out of the building, right? We've seen this work before where somebody came up to a school. I think it happened in Wisconsin. Went up to school, the doors were locked, couldn't get in, ended up getting neutralized. I think that happened in Wisconsin like a couple of years back. We don't have to live like this. Whether or not this guy was all about the snack bar, which, again, I would assume right now, based on what we know. Certainly, they could have yelled something. Could have been a disgruntled student from that class. We don't know. Now, the police have had 12, 15, 18 hours right now. We know nothing. The fact that this person, individual, looks to be a male at least, was able to walk into school, take lives, put 9 others in the hospital, and walk right out the front door, should open this school to mega lawsuits. You have a duty to protect your students. This happened in one of the strictest law states and cities in this country in terms of weapons. If I could snap a finger and make every weapon in the world disappear, I might do that. But the fact of the matter is we can't do that. And so Democrats, instead of accepting the fact that people are always going to be armed, they choose to let our students die so that they have political points. There is no denying that. They choose to let this happen. They could have armed guards at every door. This is a university that has billions of dollars in endowments every year. 8 or 9 cameras per student, 800 cameras on the school. They left the doors unlocked. Why? Now you might say, well, why do we shouldn't have to do this? I agree we shouldn't have to, but this is the world we live in. So how many more kids are going to have their lives cut short so that Democrats can be like, oh, why does this keep happening? This is Trump's fault. The police chief, the police in this are a joke. The university president should be immediately fired. And the parents of these students should be suing the school into bankruptcy. Now, did they yell Free Palestine? It seems a little passé at this point, but it's possible. We know they targeted this room, which is interesting. We know that the school was on lockdown for 8-10 hours afterwards because they couldn't find this person. Can you imagine that? Walk into a crowded building, take out a bunch of people, then just walk right out the front door. Nobody knows where you went. I mean, this whole thing is a disgrace, and parents should really be choosing whatever university or school that they send their kid to by whether or not they want to put their kids' lives at risk so they could virtue signal, or if they want to take the security risks that exist in the real world seriously. Everybody involved with this case right now is an absolute joke. Every one of them. And it's just disgusting that we continue to be like, well, now we get to have the conversation again. Why? Because Democrats want this to happen. There's no other reasonable explanation. They want this to happen so they have a political place to stand on, and it's your children's bodies. Protect these kids from the predators that our government so happily import here. May this guy fry. I hope this was some level of update. I wish I had more of an update, but this is our government. They're more worried about phobias than protecting your kids, and it's disgusting.